was published in the Trenton Times newspaper and the Hunterdon County Democrat and advertised on the website. Let's rise for the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please?
Jennifer Bachelor.
Here.
Martha Dennis.
Here.
Gina Pichetti.
Here.
Brian Keys. Here. Kevin Kovaleski.
Here.
Aaron O'Leary.
Here.
Michael Stroud.
Here.
Ronnie Camarino.
Here.
And Jim Gallagher.
Here. So we've got a couple of presentations, Mr. Suzo, you want to?
Yeah, so we have some exciting entertainment tonight for you. We're going to kick off first. I'm going to introduce Mr. Ford, who's our band director, and also Mrs. Allen, who's our choral director. And we have some entertainment for you this evening. So.
Everybody, I'm Mr. Ford. I'm the director of bands here at South Hunterdon High School. That is our sax quartet. Our sax quartet is made up of 4 students that are they do all this extracurricularly. They meet with me after school or during flex to put this music together and just push themselves to learn some new stuff specifically for their instrument saxophone. So that was Leticia Aguilar and Dylan Matz on alto saxophone, Mackenzie Gilly on tenor saxophone, and then Jake Hyman on baritone saxophone. We hope you enjoy.
Yes, what we're doing.
Your eyes lay your head down. Now it's time to sleep. May you find great adventure as you lie and dream. If you're scared of the darkness, I will calm your fear. There's a light in the hallway, so you know I'm here. So count your blessings every day. It makes the monsters go away. And everything will be okay. You are not alone. You are right at home. Good night. Oh, good night. Night. You won't need me forever, but I'll still be here. Still be here. We all have our nights, even me, right dear. From now on, if you need me, you can sing this song. There's a light in the hallway, burning all night long. So count your blessings every day. It makes the monsters go away. Everything will be okay. You are not alone. You are right at home. Good night. Oh, good night. Night.
For our holiday today, we're going to do Carol with Bells. And the first one you heard is Light in the Hallway, and the time arrangement, so hope you enjoyed, and go with together.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and humble. Ding dong, ding dong, bells of song, ring, triple ring, all merrily. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, I love Christmas, so that we are there to yell in the rain while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, ding dong, daddy, song, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Nobody said no without it. They took the tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing the cheer to young and old, big and little. Ding dong, ding dong, daddy's a song, ding, triple ring, all can't believe. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, Christmas, so happy are there times, yelling and ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding ding dong, ding dong, ding 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 dong. They said don't let it air triple tone to everyone.
send on the gun and their triples home to every home. Ding dong, ding dong. Dong.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
So the next part of our agenda, I'm really excited about as well. And again, thank you to our students who did an amazing job to kick off the meeting. That was just a continuation of the amazing concert that they had last Thursday night. So thank you. We also have a bunch of other students here this evening that we would like to recognize. We had discussions at the board level, specifically in the policy committee. And last summer, we took a look at our policy on honoring student achievement. And specifically, we looked at honor roll. And within that, we had always had honor roll as a district, but we decided as a committee and then eventually as a board to approve a policy with what we call high honor roll. So that's an amazing accomplishment for the students that are here this evening, because high honor roll is for any student who basically had a 94 average for the first marking period and didn't have below a 90 in any of their classes, which is an amazing accomplishment. So we felt it was necessary to bring them out this evening and to recognize them. And to start off, the board, it will be adopting a resolution tonight, which President Gallagher will talk about a little bit more. And then with that, then we'll be calling up our students and recognize them individually.
Okay, so I do have a resolution here. I'm going to read this. Whereas the Board of Education recognizes the importance of academic excellence and is committed to celebrating outstanding student achievement. And whereas students in grades 9 through 12 who attain high honor roll status demonstrate exceptional dedication, perseverance, and commitment to their academic studies. And whereas high honor roll distinction is awarded to students who achieve an overall average of 94 or higher, with no individual course grade lower than 90 during the first marking period. And whereas such academic achievement reflects credit upon the students, their families, the instructional staff, and the whole school community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the South Hunterdon Regional School District hereby recognizes and commends the following high school students in grades 9 through 12 for earning high honor roll status during the first marking period. We'll read those names. Yep. Shall we do we need a motion to adopt this?
Yeah, you just want to read those last two sentences.
So yes, it says, be it further resolved that the Board of Education extends its sincere congratulations to these students for their exemplary academic performance and encourages them to continue pursuing excellence in all future endeavors. And this resolution shall be entered into the official minutes of the Board of Education meeting held on December 22nd, 2025. But I have a motion from the board to adopt this resolution.
Yes.
So moved by Michael. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Aaron. Thank you. Any discussion? This is something we can do with a voice vote, I believe. Correct. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay.
So now I'd like to call up Principal Wright to the podium. Just so you know, this evening, what the board decided to do is to give each one of our students that are being honored and the actual resolution with their name on it. So you'll get a nice certificate with your individual name on the resolution for you to keep. Is that right?
Thank you. Okay, it is my honor this evening to recognize the following students. Leah Bachelor. Danielle Brewer. Amelia Carlucci. Isaac Dewar. Julia Dorman. Luke Freeze. Ian Harbison. Juna B. Horsnell. Addison Kowalski. Alexander Kakowski. Deegan Manfredi. Zachary Naun. Aaron O'Rourke. Brooke Patchouli. And Brendan Patchouli. He's getting bold. Charlton Phillips. Nathan Pigeon. Sydney Powell. Ava Sirac. Aiden Stefanelli. Abigail Titus Grieve. Jason Topcondi. Brianna Tistison. James Wood. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And what I would ask is, we have a couple more things we're gonna do, and then we'll take a short break. When we take a short break, I'd love all my honorees to go out in the hallway, and Mr. Wright, if you can get a picture for us so we can post on social media.
Okay, great. So next up, do we have anybody here from the PTO? PTO. I said PTO. Sorry.
What then?
Yes. Oh, please.
Before I start with PTO, I came straight here from Manville, where the middle school boys basketball team won in double time.
Oh, wow.
So good, and they played straight for like 2 hours, so those out.
Nice.
First, we would like to extend our sincere thanks to Kevin Kowalski and Jim Gallagher for their time and dedicated service to the district. Your contributions are greatly appreciated. Our holiday shop at South Elementary was a great success, as was our pre-K shopping and craft night. And a heartfelt thank you goes out to our amazing committee members, our shopping volunteers, and everyone who attended craft night or supported the holiday shop. Whew. Last week, we were delighted to donate candy canes and hot cocoa to STEM night at the middle school. And this morning, we surprised the middle school students with cookies and hot cocoa to spread some holiday cheer. Looking ahead, we will be providing welcome back to school treats for South Elementary on Friday, January 9th, similar to what we did at the middle school. And we are still seeking club leaders for the spring semester. Currently, we have 8 confirmed clubs. We're looking to add a couple more, maybe 2 more, so we can keep it 5 and 5. So anyone who's interested in leading a club, just email us, please. And then finally, our next Kids Night Out will be held on Friday, January 23rd. The registration form will go live after we return from winter break. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Deb.
Okay, do we have an LAEF update? Oh, yeah. Okay. Then we will go to our student representative, Val.
Thank you. Yeah, so I just have a little update about, what's been going on and also like what to look forward to. Sat in at a committee meeting last Monday, so we had some conversation there as well. So as December comes to a close, students are getting ready for the break. Let's take a quick look at what's been going on at South and what's gonna come in the new year. So South fundraisers have been drawing in a lot of students. We've had the volleyball, pickleball tournaments. We had the candy grams. We've had a lot of activity from the clubs helping us out. We've done Panera fundraisers linked up with the junior and senior classes. Seniors are obviously trying to raise money for the Florida trip to Disney and everything. So that's been happening a lot too. Clubs have been very active. The key clubs been holding the toy drive, wrapping presents, giving out cards, etc. Peer leaders held a lunch for senior citizens. Watched the holiday concert, which was performed last week. GSA also got active. They were handing out candy sleds to administration all last week as well. Athletically, students staying active, of course. Basketball, wrestling, bowling, all in full swing, going great. Had a good game tonight. Recently, on Monday, sat in a committee meeting. So this is kind of looking forward. I'll backtrack a little bit. I watched a little movie documentary last 2 weeks ago about social media, how to talk to parents, how to talk to kids, discussions about that. And so we talked about how to present this in a way that's going to be both informative and productive to kids and parents. So the middle school is going to be watching like a documentary this similar to what I watched, I think. And then the guy's going to come in and speak to them, of course. But we also talked about maybe expanding that to the high school in some sort of way. We don't have exactly a plan yet, but we've had some conversation about it. Also talked about, there was the AI survey went out. So just thinking about how students are using AI in a productive way. That's not just like ChatGPT and a whole essay and whatnot. So yeah, very, very productive month and a lot of things coming for the new year.
Thank you.
Very good.
I just wanted to thank Val. If you heard, and this is something we had not done in the past, he sat in on our school community board meeting last week. And for him to come in a room with 5 other adults, right? And to get his input on things and get the students' perspective, I think was extremely valuable for all of us. And I love the fact in his update that he used the word "we," because that is really truly what it's all about. That was exciting to hear. So thank you, Val.
No problem.
Any questions for the board? Any questions for Val from the board? Okay. Let's see, correspondence, yeah, well, we have no correspondence, right? If we did, it would be posted on the website, but there was none. So at this time, why don't we take we're gonna just call a 5-minute recess, and that will give folks an opportunity to take a picture in the hallway and all of that stuff.
Yes.
So we will go into recess at 7:24 and we'll come out at 7:29.
You're welcome to stay after that, but I realize it's the holiday season and you probably have things to do, so your call. But we'll meet all the kids out in the hallway. All right, 72. Oh,
Am I good?
not you. Not me?
Yeah.
I said we needed a quick meeting.
You're good. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Holiday.
a resolution to approve the minutes of our November regular meeting and our executive session. Someone make that motion for me? So moved by Martha, thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Okay.
Second by Jen, I believe it was. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, next up, our superintendent report.
So I just had a few slides to share this evening. First of all, hopefully you saw this, it went out to all of our community on social media, but we did announce our Governor's Educators of the Year for each one of our buildings. So I have that up here and we're really excited about that. We will recognize those individuals at our March board meeting. And then in May, they will also be going to the Hunterdon County Teachers of the Year luncheon. So congratulations to all of our folks from each one of our buildings. Just a few other things I wanted to highlight. I did want to give an update on our School of Performing Arts. So the application deadline was December 15th, and which was last Monday, and I'm happy to report that we have 16 students who've applied. We have 8 students in dance and 8 students in theater. Out of those 16 students, we have 5 that are from South Hunterdon, and then the other 11 are from other districts and outside of Hunterdon County. So we actually have applicants from Warren, Hunterdon, Mercer, and Burlington counties, which is pretty cool. So the next steps for that, auditions will take place on Wednesday, January 7th and Thursday, January 8th. And then we need to offer seats by Monday, January 12th. To all the individuals who we deem fit based on the audition process. But this, just to kind of give some background, so everyone's aware, we are partnering with Hunterdon County Polytech. We are hosting a School of Performing Arts, and we will be kicking off the inaugural year next year for the 26-27 school year. So when students audition in January, that will be a seat for next September. They will come in as 9th graders next year. So we're talking about basically students that are in 8th grade right now. And then they will be with us as full-time students for their 4 years and going through our program with the goal of when the time they graduate, they will receive a CTE, so a career technical education diploma in the area of either theater or dance. And along the way, we'll have some amazing experiences out in the industry for each. Depending upon what their pathway is. So I'm really excited. We landed in a good place. It's kind of right where we thought we would for year 1. And we know that as applicants come and then join our program, word of mouth, there's a buzz out there. We've been getting emails from 7th grade parents who are interested in finding out more information for next year. So when their child is 8th grade. So we're really excited about that. So just wanted to give an update on that as far as where we stand. Couple other things I wanted to give an update. I had sent some information out about the sale of the West Amwell School. So unfortunately, you know, the sale did fall through during the auction with our buyer, which was back on October 8th. But the district did keep the non-refundable deposit. You can see there of $155,787. We did have to pay some legal fees out of that. So the balance is $145,636 and 51 cents. So we have another buyer who has made an offer on the property, which the board countered. We are waiting for a response. And then we do have a few other prospective buyers who are also interested in the property. So we'll continue to move forward. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to close on the auction winner, but obviously we did keep the proceeds of the non-refundable deposit. And hopefully in the next month or so, we'll have another buyer and be able to report that back out at our January meeting. So I wanted to give an update on that. And then I did want to just kind of follow up with what Val said before. You saw this go out, hopefully. I know it's around the holidays, so people miss things. I'll be doing a lot of reminders when we get back from winter break. But we are having an assembly program for our students in grade 5 through 8. It's an individual by the name of Max Stossel. Some of you may remember John Stossel from ABC News. It's his son. All right. So following in dad's footsteps, a little background on Max. He started out his career in Silicon Valley, basically designing the apps that are used by our kids today. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, he made the decision that he was going to go in a different direction and really focus on educational components and specifically how the apps are built and what they do to our students' brains. And the addictiveness of the nature as far as what our students do on a daily basis on the cell phone. So we will be having that program on January 27th. And then that evening, we partnered with the PTO and we will be having a watch party called Let's Talk About Tech. We're hoping that we can get as many parents as we can. We'll be here in the auditorium. There is a link to register that you'll be seeing going out, a QR code as well. It just went out in news bites today. But we're really looking to bring parents together, watch an hour-long video together in the auditorium, and then be able to facilitate, which I will do, a conversation about just the challenges that parents deal with on a daily basis. When should we give kids phones? What age, what grade, what does that look like? And then how's the school addressing these issues as far as devices during the school day? So hoping you can come out, again, register just so we have an idea of the head count. And Val was nice enough just to give some background. I literally pulled him out of class one day, 2 weeks ago and said, you're gonna come to my office and watch this video for an hour because I want to get your perspective. So he did that, we watched it, and then we debriefed. He talked to our committee about what he thought would work well with our students and how it would receive compared to what would work well with our parents based on his experience. So we did definitely want to get a student's perspective on the video as well. So I am excited about that. So again, spread the word. I know PTO will be spreading the word. We'd like to get as many folks out as we possibly can to have this important conversation. So that was all I have.
Okay, very good. Next up on our agenda. Well, this is the part that should be on the agenda. This is recognition of Kevin Kovalevsky, Board of Education member, who served 9 years on the Board of Education and is stepping down after the end of this at the end of this term.
So obviously we have two special individuals we'll be recognizing tonight. I did prepare something that I'd like to read about Kevin. Kevin has served on the Board of Education for 9 years. During this time, it was a period of significant growth and important decision-making for the district. He was the board president at a pivotal time, including when the board hired me as a superintendent. I am personally grateful for his leadership, trust, and support during that transition. Kevin also served as board president during the referendum and facility planning process. This work was complex, challenging at times, came with a lot of community pressure, and required steady leadership and thoughtful collaboration. Throughout every decision, Kevin remained focused on what was best for students, even when the choices were difficult. He played a major role in advancing the district's facilities, including the new soccer field, the referendum, the new softball field, and the soon-to-be new turf field. These will benefit our students and our community for many years to come. He also played a pivotal role in leading our board negotiations team that resulted in labor peace during his time in that position. This included working with our administrators on establishing a bargaining unit, which they had not had in the past. Kevin's leadership style was grounded in careful decision-making, perspective, and commitment to the long-term health of the district. On behalf of the board, administration, students, and staff, I want to thank Kevin for his 9 years as a dedicated service and wish him the very best, whatever comes next. Thank you, Kevin.
I want to add a couple of, I will be brief, I promise. But there's a lot to say, right? So first, when Kevin joined the board, one of the things that Mr. Suso didn't mention is he joined the board in like 2015, 2016, at a time in this country when we were having what felt like a school shooting every week. And he was the obvious choice, coming from a police officer background, to be in charge of a security committee, which we created at that time. And he led that security committee. And it's because of that, the work of that committee, that we have security cameras, we have better processes, we are much more thoughtful about how we keep our kids safe. This is a safer and a better place because of the work that you did in that committee. Okay. Then, as Mr. Suso mentioned, becoming president of the Board of Education at a time that after 2019, it just felt like we had stalled. And when you took over as president, 2 months after that, the world ended because we went to COVID, right? And we couldn't, you had 2 meetings in person and then we were, and we were still trying to do things. We were still we looked at the ESC school, we were going, you know what I mean? But it was very hard to operate. And we had an interim superintendent at the time. We went through a superintendent search and we found Mr. Suzo, which was a fantastic find. You were the leader of that. In that key period, right? Superintendent search and then revitalizing our process, getting this thing to referendum and getting that referendum passed. This school, excuse me, this district is a better place for what you did. And you were a profile in courage. And I appreciate your courage and your leadership. And it's been an honor serving with you.
Try to say a few words. And get emotional. Warning you now. I need to get a word out. So I'll just start with this. You know, I lost my brother 2 weeks ago. And that's one of the big decisions why I couldn't run again. Because I knew I couldn't do the job 100%. And that's what this district deserves. For it to be done 100%. I knew I couldn't do that, so I had to step down and now run again. But I have confidence in the board and the processes and huge confidence in Tony to take this district to, to the next steps and even continue even better what we did. When I got on this board 9 years ago, wasn't quite sure. I was kind of lost. I had kind of 2 people that took me under their wing. One was being Jim, looked up to him and saw how he operated. And I said, that's something to model after of how he was with the community, students and staff. And then Lou Minker, he took me under his wing and he gave me some important tasks. And it changed my view of how I approached the board and the job itself and everything and all the stuff that was mentioned. So it's been one of the best 9 years of my life having this experience and do this. If you sitting back in college right now, if you told me that I was going to be on the board of education for 9 years and president for 3, I probably would have tackled you through the wall. They say you're nuts because of, just never even saw that, but it's definitely one of the most rewarding things that I ever done. And I'm going to miss it so much. And I just know that I needed to focus on family because of what was coming and it was cut a little short than we thought. So I got to focus on some family now. And I know the school district is in good hands, and the one thing I can offer to the future board members, current, like Jim and Tony said, that no matter what, I had no agenda. I never felt political bull crap pressure. I always did what was best for the students and staff of this district. And that's what everybody's got to live by and should be doing if they're on the board. Always put the students first and then the staff too, because they're the ones that have to come and educate our students and the students have to have a great place to learn. So if you live by that, I think everyone will do good. And, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be arguments, but at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Doing what's best for the students of this district and complete confidence in the hands that it is in and going forward. And I'm not going to disappear. I'm going to be watching. So, I'm going to miss it so much. I miss all the time we spent. We spent a lot of time. Thank you to all the board members and past board members that I've seen you on. It's been a great ride. And, I wish I could have stayed on, but like I said, I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it 100%. I don't want to do a job this important if I can't do it 100%. So I just want to thank everybody, Tony, Jim, all the board, everyone, all the newcomers, everybody that comes to the audience and yells at us. I don't hate you, but but watch out, I'm off the board in a week. Watch out. And to all the administrative staff and all the friends that I made here, it's just been an amazing experience. And I can't thank everybody enough. And I know I know this is a great place and it's gonna continue to thrive. It takes some time, but it will thrive. And we have an unbelievable leader and, that's another thing. Like I hired a superintendent, really? Somebody told me that in college, you're gonna be hiring a superintendent one day. I'm like, no chance. But still to this day, when I'm around my Hopewell, my old stomping ground, I hear, I can't believe you stole Tony from us. I can't believe you got him. So I know we, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly to anybody, the board, whatever like that, but, right from the get-go, it was clear as day, Tony was the choice. There was no doubt in my mind. He blew everybody away in the whole process, and it was easy because he's that far ahead of everybody. So I know we got the right person to lead this district. Just want to thank you for all the friendship and everything. But I don't know if we're supposed to be friends, but hey, we're friends. I don't know if that's really what, but who cares? But I made a lot of friends, and with, Tony and the administrative staff and all the board members, it's just been an amazing ride, and just thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Give this thing.
No, we're not. All right, so we have one other individual that we would like to recognize. Mr. Gallagher, who's our current board president. So I have a few things I prepared for as well. So Jim has dedicated, and I'll say this twice, 23 years. 23 years of service on boards of education, serving both Stockton Borough Board of Education and the South Hunterdon Regional Board of Education, which is just an extraordinary commitment to public education. Throughout his tenure, Jim is known for his calm, steady demeanor, especially during difficult times, helping the board stay focused and grounded. As board president, he has ensured that all of our board members felt an equal role on the board, which resulted in the bringing together of all three of our communities. Jim served as a true historian of the district, providing valuable perspective and institutional knowledge, and helped guide thoughtful and informed decision-making. He's a wealth of knowledge to other board members, especially the new ones when they join the board. In every discussion and decision, Jim constantly focused on what's best for all students. Again, all students, ensuring equity and fairness across the district. He was incredibly supportive of teachers and administration, always approachable, respectful, appreciative of the work that's being done in our classrooms and in our schools. Jim was visible, engaged board member, regularly present at school and community events, reinforcing the board's connection to the district. From the first time I met Jim, and still to this day, he has always spoken with great pride about this district, championing its strengths and the people who make it special. On behalf of the board, staff, students, and community, we extend our deep gratitude to Jim Gallagher for 23 years, again, 23 years of unwavering service, and wish him the best in the next chapter. So before we provide anyone else the opportunity, there's two things that I want to mention. First, the board will be approving a resolution, and I'm going to read that resolution. So it says that Board of Education resolution recognizing Jim Gallagher, whereas the Board of Education of South Hunterdon Regional School District, which is to formally recognize individuals whose service and dedication have had a lasting and positive impact on the school community. And whereas Jim Gallagher has served with distinction on the Stockton Borough Board of Education and South Hunterdon Regional Board of Education for a combined period spanning 2003 through 2025. And whereas throughout his years of service, Jim Gallagher demonstrated unwavering commitment to public education, thoughtful leadership, and advocacy for all students, staff, families of the district. And whereas his contributions helped guide the district through years of growth, change, and continuous improvement, and always with a focus on student success and the best interest of the school community. And whereas Jim Gallagher's service exemplifies the values of integrity, collaboration, and civic responsibility that strengthen public education and local governance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the South Hunterdon Regional School District hereby expresses its sincere appreciation and gratitude to Jim Gallagher for 22 years of dedicated service on the Stockton Borough of Education and South Hunterdon Regional Board of Education. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education extends its best wishes to Jim Gallagher and his family, and acknowledges his lasting legacy of service to the students and community of South Hunterdon. And be it further resolved that the resolution be entered in the official minutes of the Board of Education meeting held on December 22nd, 2025, as a permanent record of the district appreciation and recognition. And I also had something else that I want to provide, Mr. Gallagher. This is a plaque that I'd like to present to you that says, for over 2 decades of dedicated service, leadership, and commitment to the student, staff, and community of the Stockton Borough School District and South Hunterdon Regional School District, your guidance and integrity have left a lasting legacy, and your service has shaped the heart and future of our schools.
I know that there's probably a lot of other people that want to speak, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to also speak before you do. And I'm gonna keep it brief as a gift to Kevin, because Kevin always wants us to keep it brief, but one of the best.
You can be as long as you want for
Oh,
Jim.
I-
For Jim, yes.
It's always fun when you're planning a celebration for somebody who's really humble. And Jim, you're one of the most humble people I've ever known. But the best leaders are really the people that lead with their heart and not their ego. And I think people who know Jim, that's like him to a T. The biggest heart and the most generous spirit. And it's really, that's what you brought to the board. And that's how you've been such a huge asset. I want to thank you for all of the wisdom that you've shared with us over time and your calming perspective and presence. But also, you know, that calming presence has gotten us through really hard times, and your no BS sense of humor has gotten us through even harder times. And it's been those laughs that we've shared that have been, it's about, you know, just keeping the perspective and doing what's right and working really hard as a team. So I've been so incredibly grateful to you for that. I would like to call you an MVP on Team South, but I know that you would probably balk at that. But the board did want to make sure that we had you recognize that you are always a part of Team South.
Christmas comes early. I need money. Well, that would be great for softball season.
And I would just like to say, before we open it up to public comment, which we'll do next, I have one other thing that I'd like to read. I received an email today, actually from a former board member that asked that I read tonight, and it is from Megan Warner.
Okay.
Tonight, we're here to recognize someone whose name is inseparable from the history of this board and this district, Jim Gallagher. Serving on a board of education is not glamorous work. It requires time, patience, and a deep sense of responsibility to people you may never meet, but whose lives are shaped by decisions made at this table. Jim understood that from the very beginning, and for more than 20 years, he lived it. Jim's leadership has always been steady, thoughtful, and rooted in listening. He is someone who hears every voice in the room, especially the ones that don't always agree with him. And then he works to bring people together. Consensus building isn't easy. It requires humility, restraint, and trust in the process. Jim has consistently modeled that kind of leadership, and our district is stronger because of it. I want to speak personally for a moment. When I was first elected, Jim and I didn't always see eye to eye. Like many new board members, I was finding my footing, and Jim and I had to feel each other out. But over time, what developed was something far more important than agreement on every issue. It was a mutual respect. Jim showed me again and again that disagreement doesn't have to mean division, and that good governance depends on principled dialogue and good faith. The district is where it is today because of Jim, because of his decades of service, his institutional memory, his willingness to do the hard work year after year, and his unwavering commitment to the students, families, and educators we serve. His impact isn't tied to any single vote or moment, but to the consistency and integrity he brought to his role over time. Jim, thank you for your service, your leadership, and the example you set for all of us who have had the privilege of serving alongside you. Your legacy will continue in the district long after your final meeting, and you leave this board better than you found it. It's truly been an honor.
Right. I just want to say thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of this. You didn't have to do this, as I said. I would prefer you not, actually. But I'm honored and humbled that you did, and I thank you. And I am truly honored and humbled. I mentioned profiles encourage, and Kevin is a profile encourage because he made some really challenging, hard decisions that the community didn't love. And I'm honored that I see 4 or 5 other people here, like Lauren and Ann and Diana and Tracy, who also, that we all went through it together, right? And so it means a lot to me that you guys showed up, and I thank you. And for every one of you guys on the board, look, 23 years. I mean, I didn't in that time. I did nothing. Boards that I was on did great things, though, right? We did some good things in Stockton. We regionalized our districts, and I think we've done some good things here to hopefully put this district on a great footing. And I have high hopes and expectations that this board, that you 7 that are still on this board, and the 2 newcomers are going to do amazing things and do way more than I ever did in the last one. So the future is bright. You get an upgrade from the Stockton guy. I tell you, John is going to be fantastic. And so I'm excited for you. And again, I thank you all for everything. I'm not going away like Kevin. You can call me, you can text me. You will see me at sporting events. Happy to talk anytime. And but I know that it's time for, as I've said, it is time for fresh ideas. It is time for new perspectives, and it's time for new energy. And you guys have it. And I know where you guys are going to take this district a long way. I'm excited. With that, let's move to the period for public comment. As always, we have procedures, and everybody knows the procedures. Try to keep your comment to about 3 minutes. Just if you have something you'd like to bring before the board, come to the podium and just mention your name and the community that you're from. And with that, we'll open the first public comment.
Good evening. I'm Taylor LeBeau and this is Deb Lamer, and we are the co-presidents of the SHRSD. On behalf of the South Hunterdon Regional Education Association, we would like to take a moment to thank Jim Gallagher and Kevin Kowalewski for their many years of service on the Board of Education. Serving in this role requires an extraordinary commitment of time, thought, and care, and both of you have demonstrated a deep dedication to this district and, most importantly, to the students we serve.
While board work often happens behind the scenes, its impact is felt daily, both in the classrooms and in our school community. We are grateful for your leadership, your willingness to engage in difficult conversation, and your sustained service to public education. As you move on to your next chapters, please take with you our sincerest thanks and appreciation for all you have done for this district and its students.
Thank you.
Knew I wasn't gonna keep quiet, right? Tracy Patchouli, West Amwell Township. So I just want to take a moment and honor a dear friend, a respected colleague, and a fellow board member whose service to this community has left a lasting and meaningful legacy. For many years, as you've heard, Mr. Gallagher has given his time, his energy, and his heart to this board and this community and the children of this district. He did so quietly and selflessly, never seeking recognition, as you hear tonight, but always focused on what mattered most, doing what was right for this school. His commitment was not occasional or convenient as a man with 3 children. It was steady, dependable, and rooted in a genuine desire to make a difference. As a board member, Jim has brought wisdom, integrity, and thoughtfulness to every single discussion, both behind closed doors and here in this public forum. He listened carefully, spoke with purpose, and never lost sight of the broader mission. Even when challenges arose, and you heard some of them this evening, he approached them with patience, respect, and a collaborative spirit that makes this board function better. Beyond his service and leadership, what many of us will remember most is the kind of person he is. He has always been generous with his time, encouraging to others, and deeply invested in the success of those around him. He believes in this community and in the power of people working together for the common good. The impact of his work will be felt long after today. Policy shaped, lives touched, and opportunities created because of this dedication will continue to benefit this community, this school, and these students for years to come. That is a remarkable legacy built not on titles or accolades, but on service, characters, and cares for others. On behalf of my family and the entire community, I want to express our deepest gratitude. We are a better district because of your service, and I am grateful to have had the privilege of working alongside of Jim and to call him a friend. Thank you for your years of selfless leadership, your unwavering commitment to this community. Your time in the SHRSD school board will be remembered with respect, appreciation, and heartfelt thanks.
Guys. Diana Purcell, West Hamel. Hopefully I can keep it to 3 minutes. So first I want to take a moment to congratulate Kevin. Congrats on your retirement from the board and your 9 years of service. It was a pleasure serving with you. And I hope that you enjoy your well-deserved break and don't drive Julie crazy. And just enjoy your free time. I know you already do, but try to keep it to a minimum. Jim, I know this makes you uncomfortable, but you did it for me. So now it's your turn. So next I want to thank Jim for his dedicated service. Serving on this board, of course, calls for time, patience, objectivity, and a deep commitment to the students. And Jim, you brought all of that with warmth and humility. I had the pleasure of serving with you for 6 years and truly valued your collaborative spirit, your unwavering integrity, and the way you helped us all find common ground during many challenging moments by bridging our different viewpoints with respect. If you know Jim, you know him to be very involved, whether it be in youth sports, his local community, his church, or the local school district. But you also know he doesn't do it for the recognition, but because he truly and genuinely wants to help and be involved. If anyone has attended a high school graduation here at South and had the pleasure of hearing one of Jim's addresses to the graduating seniors, you can just hear in his words and voice how much he genuinely cares. And you may have gotten a little teary-eyed like I always did. I think it goes without saying that the board is losing a great wealth of knowledge, a collaborator, student advocate, and overall asset in Jim. But he absolutely deserves to step back into the civilian world now. We all owe him a debt of gratitude, as we do for all the members of the Board of Education who step up and give of their time to have the hard conversations and make the hard decisions. Some of us just don't stick it out as long as Jim did. So on behalf of my family, which also happens to be your family, thank you, Jim, for your time, dedication, and your fine example of public service. Our district is stronger because of your leadership, and you've made a lasting impact.
Hi there, Ann Nicholas, Lambertville. Kevin, congratulations. I remember back when you started. Jim, I don't remember when you started. I was after then, but all of us had.
You started in.
And we all had children who were much, much younger. Jim, I think you had one at that point,
Well,
right?
actually, when I first started, he was not even born yet, and now he's drinking age, so.
So you have been, sowing the seeds of growth for our children, giving up your time, Kevin, giving up your time, all of the board members, the time away from your family has been spent making the lives of the children of the district better. Thank you to the families. As a former board member, I know you all also contribute to the success of all of the board members, which contributes to the success of all of the districts. So I just want to say thank you to both of you. We've been through a lot together, the three of us, and have done it, I think, with grace and class and kindness. And I think that's incredibly important. I also think through your 23 years and 9 years, you've been, planting seeds all along the way. And those seeds have been growing, and the work that you've been doing will continue to grow even as you leave the board, and help making the district and continuing to make the district a great and amazing place. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is fun to be on this side. So I'm Lauren Bronze from Bell's Lambert Bell. I was so many wonderful, poignant, accurate, thought-provoking things have been said in honor of our retiring board members tonight. So I won't reiterate. So I was thinking actually selfishly about the time that I was on the board and reflecting, Jim, you had kind of alluded to that, right? That it was really a time of great turmoil and crisis. We had stalled really as a district in terms of the larger plan to serve our students with our facilities. I think coming together as our various communities was also still really a major challenge that we were confronting. We had a labor contract that was a year out that we were in arbitration. We had administrators that were underpaid for their service and their skills. Then we had COVID. Then we had a flood that devastated one of our towns. I can go on, right? We had a referendum that was, some of you may recall, a tad bit contentious. And throughout all of it, right, I think that the work, when I recall the work and to honor, right, the retiring members, I really think that we did the thing that is so hard to do, which is just do the work, right? Just show up. Right, for each other, not say, I'm going home, this is not my problem, you fix it, you solve it, or devolve into just chaos, which very easily I think could have happened with the winds that we were facing. So I just wanted to honor particularly our two presidents from that era. This was not easy work by any means, but it's absolutely essential to American democracy to do it and to keep doing it. And I think the example also, Jim, that you set with your incredibly long tenure of service, and Kevin, also with your dedication, particularly to the well-being of our district's staff and administrators through your, work with the negotiations and the contracts. I think that legacy is particularly profound and will, I know, carry on. I'm going to say one more thing, and that has to do with one thing on the agenda, and that's the calendar. So I'm going to say that as a person who is meant to benefit from the Jewish holidays being days off, please don't do that anymore, because my kids hate the fact that every other kid gets to hang out and get a day off of school and they have to go to synagogue. So I'm serious. It's not fun, and they hate it, and I have to argue with them. And so actually it would be way better if everybody else had to go to school and then I got to take them out of school. They would love that. So it'd be much better. So as a person who is actually probably the subject of the policy, I say, please stop, please, especially Friday and Monday next year. Oh God, it's going to be terrible. So no more Jewish holidays off. Thank you.
Paul Felsigno, West Ham. Well, I was not planning on saying anything, but hearing from retired board members, I'm an incoming board member. So seeing the appreciation for Kevin and Jim is impressive. I think since I've been getting involved with the orientation, meeting each one of you guys, sitting down, and then this, I'm getting a feeling that it might be in over my head, which I think is a healthy
You're not.
attitude. But I might have to leave early. I've got young kids at home, so and a wife who's during the holiday season, so it's a bit stressful at home. But I wanted to say that I will certainly be reaching out to each one of you to get advice before I start and certainly during. So thank you for your service, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys going forward.
Absolutely. Okay. Any other public comment? Anything online? No. Okay, with that, can we take a, can we,
We just, we need to do one thing first.
Okay.
We actually didn't approve the resolution.
all right, I guess we gotta do, all right, so we're gonna close the period of public comment.
Yes.
Then we will open the floor if somebody will make a motion about that resolution thing. And Ronnie, and second by Brian. And all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, abstain. So now could we just take a 5-minute recess and then we will come back and actually get some work done?
Yep.
That's okay. We'll just take a recess at 8:10. We will reconvene at 8:15. And again, I thank you, everybody.
Thank you for the one.
All right, and then how do you figure out committee meetings? Not this one, yeah. Okay. It's not the most recent one. It's not much. No, the most recent one might have. Actually, I was busy. So did I. But then they screwed They did. Yes. Yeah, well, that's what just happened. It's really hard.
There is,
Hello.
there is always some sort of. But we're going to be on it.
I know there is a pattern. Just, I don't know how I said it.
Well,
It's just something.
And I thank you for the time of the recess and all of your patience and all of your thoughtfulness. Let's get some work done. Okay, we'll start with the curriculum and technology. Mr. Strauss.
Well, thank you. The Curriculum and Technology Committee met on December 10th in C101. We got a lot of technology updates. It's all in the minutes, but the big thing is that next year we will have to replace the teacher and staff laptops. So we're looking at that from a budget standpoint. As our student representative and Mr. Souza both talked about, we reviewed the middle school assembly. We also talked about the middle school accelerate period. So that was evaluated with the staff, and based on the discussions, there are changes that were recently made to the middle school at the middle school level. Coming into the year, students were grouped in with their ELA and math teachers for Accelerate as a home base. And the thinking was that that would put them in very close proximity so they could have more student interaction. What actually evolved out of that is that they became a little too involved in the logistics of it. And now it has been flipped so that the ELA and math teachers will be completely freed during that time and will have the opportunity to be working with students during that entire period. We are also going to be adding in a 5-minute check-in based on the current middle school population to talk about executive functions, meaning basically how to get homework done, how to keep track of things, and that will be the responsibility of the person who is within, who is moderating their Accelerate period. We also got a report that the school choice lottery would be happening the next day. So it has already taken place. We had 35 applicants for 9 seats this year. We heard about STEM night, which was last week, and from what I hear, very successful. And also high impact tutoring is going to be returning. Letters did go out last week. I got one myself. So I am excited to see that it will be happening in both ELA and math this year. And this year it is something that was budgeted by the district. In years past, it was done by a state grant. But we did put it into the budget this year and we are funding it because we do believe it's necessary in that middle school population, especially. And then the final thing is that elementary school report cards, Ms. Lennon talked about the start of that process. And I just want to make sure that I say that it is the start of that process because no final decisions have been made. But we are going to go to standards-based reporting for the elementary school, meaning that there will not be letter grades at any level in the elementary school, and they will be graded on their attainment of a standard. So that will be part of our PLC meetings or Ms. Lennon's PLC meetings in the coming months, and they will be deciding on how to focus those standards, how to make them understandable for not only the teachers, but also the parents who are receiving the report cards. And we will be rolling that out next year. With that, I have nothing to do.
Excellent report, thank you. Personnel, Shetty.
The personnel committee met last Thursday, I think it was the 18th, at 7:30 p.m. It was a virtual meeting. At that meeting, Tony went over all of these action items that are on the agenda tonight, including personnel appointments, resignations, leaves of absence, as well as the extracurricular and stipend appointments for the 25-26 school year. Additionally, we discussed the Governor's Educator of the Year awardees that Tony put up on the projector earlier today. Just to reiterate for the elementary school, the awards go to Lee Weaver and Dawn Rhodes. At the middle school, Caitlin Wesner and Shannon Hill. And at the high school, Kyle Hart and Ashley Williams. And then finally, we talked about the current openings in the district, which are for a middle school band, leave of absence, fulfillment, I don't know. And also same for a middle school ELA. leave that. I don't know if either of those said.
They're later in the year, in the springtime. And one other thing I just want to mention on the agenda, and we'll recognize him later in the year, is the retirement of Eric Zimmerman, who's one of our bus drivers, who's been here for 33 years. So a long, long time. We will invite him to our May Board of Ed meeting when we recognize our retirees, but he will be retiring as of March 1st.
With that, I'd like to move items A and B.
So moved. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Aaron, thank you. Any discussion on items A and B? I would just note, in addition to Mr. Zimmerman retiring, yes, been here for a long, long time. Mr. Vergolino was fantastic. I know he taught two of my kids. Just a fantastic teacher, so we will miss him as well. If there is no other discussion, then let's vote.
Mark Denner,
Yes.
Gina Bichetti,
Yes.
Brian Key,
Yes.
Kevin Kowalski,
Yes.
Aaron O'Leary,
Yes.
Michael Stroud,
Yes.
Jennifer Bachelor,
Yes.
Ronnie Conmarino,
Yes.
and Jim Gallagher.
Yes. Policy Committee, Mrs. Dennis.
Policy, Jim's favorite.
That is my favorite committee. Most important committee.
We
Oh, you should be on the policy committee in your first term.
We met virtually on December 3rd. For first read, we have 3 items. They are all connected. Policy and Regulation 2535 on library materials, Policy and Regulation 9130 on public complaints, and Policy and Regulation 2530 on resource materials. For library materials, this is new and mandatory. The policy and regulation were developed in response to New Jersey's Freedom to Read Act, which became effective on December 9th of this year. The act establishes the New Jersey Board of Education's position. The freedom to read is a human right, constitutionally protected by the First Amendment, and individuals have the right of free inquiry. It's designed to protect the right to read, access information, and further to support the professional judgment of librarians and educators. Importantly, it defines who has a standing to challenge materials. That's referred to individuals with a vested interest. This includes teaching staff, students, parents of students, and respectively, these persons must be employed by the district, enrolled in the district, or be the parent or guardian of a student enrolled in this district at the time a removal form is filed. Policy 2535 and the related regulation are specific to library materials as defined in the policy, and it also sets forth a formal review process. 9130 on public complaints is designed to change. This is an existing policy. It's being revised. Revisions to the policy are designed to align to the to policy and regulation 2535, and they remove the references to library materials. Policy covers procedures for hearings and for the settlement of complaints concerning district. This covers district staff members, educational program, instructional or resource material, and the operation of the district. The policy does clarify that the procedure outlined is not to be used by district staff or members of the board of director unless they have students within the district. There are separate approaches for their individual complaints or issues. We are making a recommendation as for the board to look at as they go into the second read, that we consider adopting the definition for individuals with a vested interest or any of the materials that are set forth in the public complaint policy. For policy and regulation 2530 related to resource materials, again, this is revisions, and they're designed to align to 2535. They're going to remove any reference to library materials, reference materials for clarity, or materials not designated as textbooks. These include maps, videos, other materials, and periodicals. And any complaint regarding these items will fall under 9130. So again, that language clarifies. You look back to 9130 if you have any issues with those materials. And it's also been revised to better align with the district practices. For second read, these are the items we covered in November. There is policy 2624 on the grading system. This is proposed to align to the new school configuration. It is a bespoke and differentiated scale for the K2 and 3 to 5.
We also have regulation 5460 on graduation requirements. This was to address the dance program within the Performing Arts Academy so that it could be substituted for the physical education requirement. And lastly, policy 1620 on administrative employment contracts. This policy aligns us to the New Jersey Administrative Code, which addresses requirements for the executive county superintendent's review and approval of employment contracts for superintendents, assistant superintendents, and school business administrator. These were non-material changes to the language of that policy. And I do want to note, respectively, the policy committee is going to be looking at policy and procedures related to security drills. Make sure those align closely to the needs of our students. And with that, for the last time, I would like to move, Mr. President, I would like to move items A and B.
Okay, so moved. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Jen. Thank you. Yeah. All right, any discussion on items A and B? Of this policy? If there is no discussion, then let's vote.
Gina Pichetti,
Yes.
Brian Keys.
Yes.
Kevin Kowalewski,
Yes.
Erin O'Leary,
Yes.
Michael Strauss,
Yes.
Jennifer Bachelor,
Yes.
Martha Dennis,
Yes.
Ronnie Marino.
Yeah.
And Jim Gallagher.
Yes. Buildings, grounds, transportation, finance, and safety.
I was at basketball.
I also was at a basketball game. I'm embarrassed to say. I thought the committee meeting was on Wednesday and I went to the away basketball game in Belvedere. And so I was not there either, but I'll let you do the report.
So just a couple things I'll highlight, letter D contracts. We mentioned about the social awakening, that's the assembly program. We are splitting the cost with the PTO and then being able to use some title funding as well. Fires, fire protection service, there's some things that we need to do for our fire pumps at the new middle school as well as here at the high school. And then character strong, if you followed along with our district goals, one of our goals was to work on the implementation of a character education program in the district for next year. The committee last year piloted 5 different programs and landed on character strong. So we're going to be starting our training for that for teachers in the spring. So there's a contract on there to start with some professional development. We have some travel and field trips. We did at our finance meeting in November, had our audit, and our auditor came in and reviewed the audit with our finance committee. This is actually the actual audit that's being put forth on the agenda for approval. And then just a couple things to keep in mind. We are in the midst of our turf project. So the goal is to have our turf project completed by hopefully the beginning of March. There is authorization on here for our first payment towards the contract of the turf. There's also a change order. So as part of the turf project, when we went in front of DRCC, they required that the drainage basin that we had inside the field, if you've been by the field lately, you'll notice that huge hole that's on the visitor sideline. That is for a drainage system to go in down in there. They did require us to increase the size. So we had to do a change order for that. But that project is progressing nicely.
Okay, so with that, we'll need a motion to approve items A through A through I. So moved by Brian, second. A second by Michael. Any discussion on items A through I? I would note item G is the audit report, and so the full PDF of the audit is with the agenda online. But I believe that this is the first year. There is one page of the audit. My favorite page is page J4. And J4 is the 10-year snapshot. No, this is always, it's the 10-year snapshot of the spending of the district, right? So you can look and say, where were we? And you know, how have we done? What have we done? And this is the first time that we have 10 full years of South Hunterdon Regional School District data. Prior to this, we always had to cobble it together from the 3 separate school districts. We are 10 years now, more than 10 years down the regionalization road this district has been in as a consolidated district. I felt like that's something worth mentioning, right? So as Winston Churchill said, after some battle in World War II, I don't know, this is not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it is the end of the beginning. Okay. Regionalization stuff is done. Now we get to move forward. Any other comments on items A through I? Sorry. If not, then let's vote.
Brian Key.
Yes.
Kevin Kowalewski.
Yes.
Aaron O'Leary.
Yes.
Michael Stroud.
Yeah.
Jennifer Bachelor.
Yes.
Martha Dennett.
Yes.
Gina Pichetti.
Yes.
Ronnie Todd Marino.
Yes.
And Jim Gallagher.
Yes. Let's see. School and community. Marina.
As has been mentioned, we were able to welcome the student school board member to our meeting, which was really, informative and helpful, and it was very impressive. Obviously, a lot of the school community, discussion had to do with how to improve the culture of the school, and there's a lot of different initiatives. So we got his feedback on some things, including the celebrating student achievement for the student athlete of the month. And, how the school changed and middle school students have left this building. And also these ways to foster school pride, and some, get kids to, participate in more social activities instead of their phone. So there was a lot of different things that he weighed in on that, I know we were excited for that information, and like he said, we have a lot of good stuff to work on here. He also watched the parent video that's for the upcoming middle school program. We've been sneaking into your brains. So he had a lot of good things to say about that. We talked about the promotion of it, and because this is a student program with a parent component, that's a piece of what we've been looking to do, and that's part of the school and community goals for the year. So, you know, as this is one of those, as a first of a series of parent resources, we really hope that promoting and we'll get a lot of engagement through that promotion. We talked about press releases because it's been a little while and there's a lot to celebrate. So we talked about different options, community classroom being one, digital literacy, and maybe plus fourth ed member spotlight. We know that there's this, we just honored the students that made that honor, so that will be on social media as well. We talked about the calendar for the 26-27 school year and starting the Tuesday before Labor Day this year. And then we also reviewed the board norms and procedures, looking at board governance and that document that we look to implement in 5 months. And that is it, but I need to move item A for the school calendar.
B.
B.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second on item B? A second by Martha, thank you. Any discussion on the calendar? I will say to Lauren's point, back in the day, and if Ann were still here, she was on the board at the time, she would remember this. Jackie SHRSD used to come to every meeting and say, hey, I think you should put this, Jewish holidays should be on the calendar. She doesn't live in Lambertville anymore, so. That is a decision for January.
Right, Jennifer Bachelor.
Yes.
Martha Dennett.
Yes.
Gina Pichetti.
Yes.
Brian Key.
Yes.
Kevin Kowalewski.
Yes.
Aaron O'Leary.
Yes.
Michael Stroud.
Lauren, my apologies to your kids. They can yell at me at the pool this summer, but yes.
Ronnie Todd Marino.
Yeah.
And Jim Gallagher.
Yeah. Let's see, routine information items. We do have to report that we had 4 HIB investigations in the month of November, in which we discussed at the end of last month's meeting. 2 were determined to actually meet the criteria for harassment, intimidation, bullying. 2 were not. We also had various safety and fire drills at the schools as listed here on the agenda. And our enrollment report is attached to the agenda online. That brings us to the final period of public comment this evening. So once again, public comment is open for any item of interest. We just ask you to state your name, your municipality, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes and make them a comment to the board. So
When we do that, can we just do a voice vote on the routine item?
Oh.
Except the HIV.
Yes, oh, I mean, Racing along here, yes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We can I not make a motion for it? That's okay. No, it's not okay. Do it right. Okay, can I have a motion to accept to approve items A and B?
So moved.
So moved by Martha, and a second, please. Second by Brian. Thank you. Now, any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, public comment is now open. Go.
I'm still Lauren Grunstrom-Fells. I still live in Lambertville. I wanted to say something about the use of tech in the district, which I know is an issue that is of constant conversation, both as a board, as families, as people in the world. I've been noticing, as I'm sure many of you are, right, that there's been some new policies this year in terms of school of phones. I have a middle schooler and an elementary school age student. My middle schooler still, is accessing the phone during the day. There's inconsistencies in terms of the application. My elementary schooler has decided he hates iReady. He's announced that. But I think also one thing that I'd like to see us do, and I'm so glad to see the movie on the agenda, is to continue having discussions, because part of what I sort of see two things that I'd like to suggest the board explore and the community participate in exploring. One is that it seems like more and more the kids actually want less devices. They want the human interaction that we took for granted in our development. And so I wonder if the schools can become the place, right, where we really value that and where we consciously cultivate a space that is focused on the hard interpersonal skills, the relationship building, the just spending time, not necessarily occupied, but also in creative pursuits as well. That whole kind of fundamental that the school can be the refuge that we need as a society. And so that's something, right, that's long-term and complicated, but that I open up potentially for the board to explore. And I'm happy to participate as I can as a private citizen and a parent. And in this, I read The Anxious Generation, which I recommend to everyone, and have designed some questions for discussion around it. I'd love to engage with other members of the community and the school community with. And the other part too, I wanted to say about the school is that I was really influenced by some pieces I've read recently that talk about how possibly it's not even necessarily the COVID that made schools, or tech, like all the things, that it's actually our regime of testing that came from No Child Left Behind that we've seen evolve. And that also came from an anxious society that wants evidence, right, of things, and stakeholders who demand to know what's happening behind those doors. So also the dissolution of trust. But I want to mention that I think, that this could be, again, just a space that schools are kind of the last space where people come together from many different walks of life and with many different experiences. And that if we can figure out how to value that time that we actually spend in person together, that could be an agenda to really move our community and our schools forward. So I just wanted to set that out maybe as something that to ponder and to work towards, and that I'm here to help with that if I can. Okay.
Thank you. Dave Beaumont. We do have one online, Dave Beaumont, West Amwell. As a former school board member, I want to congratulate both Jim and Kevin as you soon become members of the retired school board club. Ditto on all that Mr. Suzo shared about both of you and all the comments from members of the audience. But I would like to add a special appreciation to Jim for his 23 years of dedication to all of our community students, past and present. I particularly want to acknowledge his key role in transforming our three communities' ability to deliver quality education and new opportunities and experiences for our children. Jim was a founding member of the Regionalization Grassroots Committee, which ultimately led to the consolidation of 4 separate school districts into one single K-12 district. And as a member of the initial regional district school board back in 2014, Jim helped make the transformation successful. It has been an honor to have worked with you over the past many years. Enjoy your retirement.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring before the board? With that, I'll close the period of public comment. We do have a need to go into an executive session, and that is, again, we discussed the kid reports that will be on the agenda for next month. And I think we're also gonna talk a little bit about the West Amwell school sale. That executive session will take probably about a half an hour. There will be no anticipated action after we come out of that session. So with that, I'll make a motion to go into executive session at 8:43. So I'll need a motion. I'm not making. So by Brian, thank you. And second, please. Second by Ronnie, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay.